What up, Bucs fans, NFL fans, and gambling fans? Welcome back to Pewter Picks and Props, the Bucs and NFL Sunday edition of the show. I'm your host, Matt Matera from PewterReport.com, and Pewter Picks and Props is brought to you by Splash Sports. Join over 2.5 million people playing on Splash Sports. It's the home for Survivor, Pick'em, and Quick Picks, which you can bet all season long. Whether you want to create your own contest with friends or take a shot at life-changing prize pools week to week, Splash Sports has got you covered. They give the best matchup boosts in all of daily fantasy sports. You can turn $20 into $1,000 with the best multipliers in daily fantasy sports as well. Download the Splash Sports app using the QR code on the screen and start winning some money. Hope everybody had a fantastic and a very, very happy Thanksgiving. There's been a lot of football to watch, both the NFL and college football. But we're going to start turning our attention to the weekend and, of course, on Sunday for Bucs versus Cardinals. Before we break that game down and look at some of the best prop bets to take, we'll take a quick look at my overall record, split the difference between Bucs and Rams. I lost a couple of Bucs player props because of the injury to Baker Mayfield, but overall winning record in some other categories. So when it comes to the Bucs-Cardinals games, there's a couple factors looking into it, most notably Baker Mayfield. It appears he will be starting in this game for the Bucs against the Cardinals. He hurt his left shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder against the Rams, sat out of Wednesday's practice, sat out of Thursday's practice, but Todd Bowles said he's progressing well during the week. But that's not the only big injury news that we have to talk about. Bucky Irving is returning for the first time since September. Hassan Reddick is coming back for the first time since that Monday night game against the Detroit Lions. And don't make a scene, but Jamel Dean is returning back to the lineup as well after missing last week, and he is their best corner. So when you add in all of the reinforcements that are coming through, I'm expecting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to bounce back and get back into the win column, defeating the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to cover the 3-point spread, which they are favored. I try to get that as soon as possible, too, because with the Baker news, it might jump back up. They're going to rely a lot on running the football, but that's where Bucky Irving comes into play. Even if he's going to be on a pitch count, seeing him break a big run or two will do wonders for this Bucs offense. And, of course, it'll keep Sean Tucker and Rachaad White fresh as well. And then defensively, they struggled against three of the best teams in the league and three MVP candidates at quarterback. I know Jacoby Brissett has beaten the Bucs before, but with the healthy Hassan Reddick, with the healthy Jamel Dean, the Bucs have taken care of business against the more subpar teams in the league. So I think the Bucs will cover the -3 spread. I'm taking the over of 44.5 as well because it's hit in every single game at Raymond James Stadium. So I'm not going to break the trend just yet. So I like the over of 44.5. With the Bucs player props, it's pretty light this week because a lot of the props weren't out and a lot of players weren't available because of all the injury news. So I'm just keeping it very Bucs-centric. No Cardinals prop bets for this one. Just going with Tampa Bay. We're going to start with the man of the hour, Bucky Irving. He is back, like I mentioned just a moment ago. He wants to play so badly. You could hear it in his voice when we spoke to him this week. I understand he's going to be on a pitch count, but this is the only time you're going to get the over of 40.5 rushing yards for Bucky Irving, probably in his entire NFL career, if we're being realistic. So even if Bucky gets 8 rushing attempts, I expect him to break at least 1 or 2. He might have a 15-yard run mixed in there, maybe a 20-yard run mixed in. I don't think he's going to be on as much of a pitch count the way Chris Godwin Jr. was, but Bucky wants to play so badly, so desperately. The Bucs have been running the football really well, and you got to factor in Baker Mayfield's injury too. Add all of that in, I think Bucky's going to have a pretty big day, even if it's in a limited capacity. So I like the over there for Bucky, over 40.5. Gonna go with Chase McLaughlin over on 1.5 field goals made as well. The Bucs have struggled in the red zone, not punching it in every single time. And because there's only so many prop bets available, I'm going to go with one I trust. Chase McLaughlin's been great. Bucs offense has been a little all over the place. And because of that, I'll trust the Bucs kicker to have a couple of field goal opportunities and connect on at least 2 of them. Also taking the under of 33.5 receiving yards for Cade Otton. He had an abysmal game last week on Sunday Night Football against the LA Rams. I had a ball ripped away from him that ended up being an interception for Baker Mayfield, but it was completely the fault of Cade Otton. He gets involved a lot. There's no doubt about it, but there's no yards after the catch. It's just see him open 8 yards down the field, throw it to him. So with this number, even though it's pretty low, I think the addition of Bucky Irving will also impact the passing game, and Cade Otton will be the one that kind of suffers from Bucky's return in terms of throwing him the football more than the tight end. So those are the player props. I'm keeping that the same for the Pewter parlay, which is why you see it at plus 550. So feel free to parlay them all together or take them individually if you feel like it. Going around the NFL, I did a separate Thanksgiving picks and Pewter picks and props and parlay as well. So less games to choose from. I have the Eagles minus 6.5 against the Bears. At the time, I did not realize it was the Friday game and not with the slate of Sundays. So by the time you're reading this, I apologize. This game has probably already happened. But either way, I'm taking the Eagles minus 6.5 at home against the Bears. Jags minus 6.5 at the Titans. This is just because the Titans are one of the worst teams in football, and the Jaguars looks like they're humming after a big win. And then Raiders at the Chargers over 41 points. Chargers have a great quarterback with Justin Herbert. They're looking to put up more points than they did last game. And you got to remember, the Raiders, they fired their offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, so that could provide a spark a little bit on the offensive side. And when you see a low number like 41, I think you can take your chances on it. You never know. There could be a pick six, some type of botched punt or muffed punt or something like that, maybe a crazy special teams play. So I wouldn't rule out something like that happening, or maybe Geno Smith just throws a pick six or whatever the case may be. So because of that, I'm going to take the over of 41. And if you parlay those 2 games together, that comes to a overall payout of plus 264. So not too bad with that look. And before we close up shop, just a reminder for everybody to download the Splash Sports app. You can use the QR code on the screen, get those quick picks in. You can do it for college football, NFL, NBA, MLB, even though they're not in season right now, NHL, some other sports as well. But of course, NBA and the NFL is where it is mostly at. So download the Splash Sports app today and support our sponsor over at Splash Sports. All right, those are my picks for this week. Hopefully the Bucs can get off the schneid after losing 3 games in a row, get back in the winning column, stay atop of the NFC South as well. If you're not already doing so, please make sure you're following us on all of our social media on X, Facebook, and Instagram. We are at Pewter Report, and our YouTube channel is Pewter Report TV. Also, you can follow me at Matty4_Matera. But yeah, Pewter Report TV, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what bets you like, you don't like, maybe another prop bet that I didn't get to that you are going to bet on this weekend. But appreciate each and every one of you for watching this show. That's going to do it for this episode. And let's win some money. Out.